First Lady Melania Trump caused quite a stir this week when she publicly called for the removal of Deputy National Security Advisor Mira Ricardel in a statement reading, quote, "It is the position of the office of the First Lady that she no longer deserves the honor of serving in this White House." While this particular statement was unprecedented, it is a long-held tradition that the nation's First Ladies have influence in their husbands' administrations. While the mainstream media is all over this story, they haven't always covered the First Lady fairly.
Sources tell CNN Melania Trump was furious with senior national security advisor Mira Ricardel for accusing the First Lady's staff of inappropriate behavior during a recent trip to Africa, asking for an investigation, and even changing seat assignments on the plane. In short, a source says Trump thought Ricardel a bully. For all that, the demand she be fired blasted into public like a bolt from the blue. Or did it? Just last month, Melania Trump told ABC News, when she talks, the president listens.
Has he had people that you didn't trust working for him?
Yes.
Did you let him know?
I let him know.
And what did he do?
Well, some people, they don't work there anymore.
Still, for a president's wife to so openly weigh in on staffing is extremely unusual, as are some of her recent pointed comments about life in the White House.
It's harder to govern. You know, you always need to watch your back.
Still, Melania Trump's behavior has been a puzzle all along.
He would be the best president.
During the campaign, she would play cheerleader-in-chief for a while, only to vanish, giving the supporting role to her stepdaughter, Ivanka, 11 years her junior. When she speaks, the First Lady praises her husband without fail.
He's a great negotiator. He's telling the truth. He's a great leader.
But she has also pushed his hand away in public. She made an infamous fashion choice on a trip to Texas during the immigrant family separation uproar, bringing sharp criticism on the president. And when she chose to highlight childhood bullying as a problem she wants to replace with
Kindness, mindfulness, integrity, and leadership, which can only be taught by example.
Critics howled. What about your husband, they said.
What a stupid question that is.
Even under normal circumstances, the press doesn't cover Melania Trump the way other First Ladies have been covered. This week, former First Lady Michelle Obama reemerged to promote her new memoir, Becoming, and here's how the media covered it.
Former First Lady Michelle Obama in a new cover story for Elle magazine, taking another swipe at President Donald Trump while promoting her book, Becoming. This time without mentioning him by name, telling interviewer Oprah Winfrey, quote, "Progress isn't made through fear. We're experiencing that right now. Fear is the coward's way of leadership." Trying to remain positive while the country grapples with a new president. A president that Obama can't believe is not Hillary Clinton. Writing in her book, she still wonders how people voted for Trump, whom she calls a misogynist.
People have to be educated, they have to be focused on the issues, and they have to go to the polls if they want their politics to reflect their values.
And how on Inauguration Day, she witnessed a different type of celebration than her husband's.
The vibrant diversity of the two previous inaugurations was gone. Someone from Barack's administration might have said that the optics there were bad, that what the public saw didn't reflect the president's reality or ideals. But in this case, maybe it did. Realizing it, I made my own optic adjustment. I stopped even trying to smile.
One Trump that Obama isn't openly criticizing is Melania Trump.
Is the current First Lady, how do you think she is doing in defining who she is?
You know, one of the things you learn as a former, it's like, I don't judge what a current is doing, you know? So I'd prefer not to, you know, speak on what she's doing versus what I did.
And although Obama hosted Trump for a brief welcome tea at the White House after the election, telling her that she was available for advice anytime should Trump need her, Obama's phone has remained silent.
I know that Laura Bush reached out to you and said, if you need any help, I'm a phone call away.
Yep.
you wrote about how, and have talked about how you extended that same courtesy to Melania Trump. Has she reached out to you and asked for any help?
No, she hasn't.
Asked to comment on Obama's interview and the First Lady opting out of advice, Trump spokeswoman tells CNN, quote, Mrs. Trump is a strong and independent woman who has been navigating her role as First Lady in her own way. When she needs advice on any issue, she seeks it from her professional team within the White House.
The statement that Melania Trump's office put out was certainly unprecedented. It was formal, it was put out in writing, and it was very public. What's not unprecedented is First Ladies having this type of influence within their husbands' administrations. You can look to Bill Clinton, Ronald Reagan, and many others. Melania Trump has not been covered fairly since her time in office with President Trump, but it was made very clear this week when former First Lady Michelle Obama's book came out, and the mainstream media is falling all over Michelle Obama. They absolutely love her. You even saw in this clip, they tried to make a big deal out of Melania Trump not reaching out to Michelle Obama for advice on her new position, but she did reach out to Laura Bush. Now, Michelle Obama just answered the question and said no, she didn't, but you can look. All these news articles popped up, all of these commentaries saying Melania, shuns Michelle Obama, doesn't want to speak to her, when it's not that dramatic. When in fact, Melania Trump is doing great work in multiple spheres in her role, and she should be commended for that. Well, on this show, we're dedicated to calling out double standards, hypocrisy, and media bias every week, and there is a lot of it. But sometimes it is important to shine a light on positive examples. I'm sure many of you have heard about Lieutenant Commander Dan Crenshaw from Houston, Texas, my hometown. Congressman-elect Crenshaw was the target of a very poorly received joke made by Pete Davidson on SNL regarding the eye he lost in an IED explosion in Afghanistan. The Today Show actually had Dan Crenshaw on recently, and they had a fair interview. It highlighted the civility and unity shown by Crenshaw when he agreed to actually go on SNL and roast Pete back. But more importantly, Crenshaw forgave and recognized Pete's dad, who was a firefighter killed back in 9/11.
Congressman-elect, you've said that instead of saying thank you for your service on Veterans Day, we should be saying something else. What is that and why?
Right. So, veterans always appreciate it when someone says thank you for your service. And I wanted to suggest a different option, which is never forget. And I suggested that because it's less transactional, right? When you thank somebody, it's almost like you're on the other side of them. When you're saying never forget, it's almost like this secret code between Americans where we all recognize that we can never forget the sacrifice of our veterans, past and present, but also never forget why a lot of veterans are still out in the fight right now. We never forget those we lost on 9/11. Again, it's more of a team effort than it is a separation of civilian and military.
Yeah. Sir, what you wrote after this all happened, you said in a tweet, I try hard not to offend and I try harder not to be offended. And that was an incredible act of generosity for you to come here and make it okay and show what forgiveness looks like on Saturday night.
Well, it felt good. It felt like the right thing to do. And I would appreciate it if everybody would stop looking for reasons to be offended. And that's what this was all about.
All right.
Great message. Guess what? They need more humor in Washington, sir. So good luck.
We'll bring it.
Congressman-elect Dan Crenshaw, thank you again so much.
In a hyper-partisan atmosphere, this sure was a very nice change of pace. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And don't forget to send us your media misses to MediaMisses@dailysignal.com.